Welcome aboard. If you're watching this video, then let me be the first to say, congratulations. You've recently joined Fredonia Radio Systems, and this begins your training.
Can I have a radio show now?
Oh no. You've got a lot to learn before you're ready to have a radio show. To show you the ropes, here's Jenna, our chief engineer.
Hey guys, it's Jenna. I'm your chief engineer, and today I'm going to train you guys on how to run your show. That's it. Okay, so the first step in doing your show is I'm going to show you how to record your show if that's something you want to do. You don't have to record your show, but it's an option. So the first thing you're going to do is open Adobe Audition. It's in the bottom toolbar on the Prod A and B computers. When it comes up, it'll look like this. So then you're going to come over to the board, and if your show is on WCVF, you're going to look at the channel labeled WCVF and turn it on and bring the fader up. If your show's on WDVL, you'll do the same, just one channel over. So for example, I'm going to say that we're on CVF. I'll bring this fader up. You can test it by bringing up the monitor fader. There's your show. The blue Unity quote-unquote levels that are on the console in Prod B in particular aren't actually Unity, so I would suggest just bringing the fader up until you hit levels that are about 0 on the meters. And then you're going to come back over to Audition, hit the record button, name your file whatever you want, hit OK, and then you are recording your show. So then you can go into the booth, run your show. When your show's over, you can come back, hit the spacebar to stop the recording, and you're going to want to save the Adobe Audition project to either your own personal drive or to the Philo. Please do not save things to the desktop and leave them there long term. That is not a good practice. These will all be moved in the very near future, all this stuff on the desktop. That's it.
Okay. Say it. Say it.
Before you record your show, you're going to have to sign out. Prod B or A, there will be sign-up sheets on the door. There are not right now. Yes, on that door.
Oh, on that door.
Or on that door, depending on which prod you're using. Make sure you sign it out before you record your show. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you then is how to run your show in WCVF. It's basically the same between WCVF and WDVL, so the running of the board is basically the same. So when you come in, the only thing that should be on is the unattended and hotkeys on this far right channel. That fader should be up and the red button should be going. The monitors, you'll hear the music, that's our automation playing. So to get off of automation and start your show, if you're using a microphone to start your show, those inputs are on the far left side of the console. They're both on input A, so none of the input Bs will be engaged. You just have to turn them on, bring your mic faders up to this dotted Unity line, bring the automation fader down, and then you are live using a microphone. If you want to start your show using music, it's basically the same, except you'll come over to the channel labeled MP3 plug. That is on input B, so make sure you have this input B button selected above. Turn that on, bring the fader up to Unity, bring the fader on unattended down and turn it off, and start your music, and you're good to start your show. Once you have your music or your microphone going or whatever you're doing, you're going to want to stop automation from running. So you're going to come over to the computer. In the top left corner, you'll see a pause, stop, restart button, all those kinds of things. You just want to hit pause, the automation music will stop, and then you're in the clear for the rest of your show. Then once your show's over, you're going to want to do basically the same thing in reverse. So if you're using mics, bring those faders down, turn them off. Or if you're using music, bring the music fader down, turn it off. Bring the automation fader back up. Come up back into the computer, hit the play button.
That's it?
That's literally it. Make sure music is playing again before you leave. And you're good. Your show is over. A couple quick notes about the board. If you use either of the microphone inputs, the music or your microphone, whatever you're hearing, automatically mutes to the main monitor path. So the only place you'll be able to hear yourself is through the headphones. That's just to prevent feedback. Don't panic that there's no signal. You're all good. For hearing yourself, you want to make sure in this top right corner of the control room section, you have PGM2 selected. That just means that you won't have a delay between what you're hearing and what you're saying. And that's pretty much it.
Wow. Ah!
There are a few things that you have to do during your show on WCVF. Your station ID, sweeper, liner, promo are all clickable on the WCVF computer. There's also a grapevine that you have to read and booth plays. After your show, there's also some paperwork that you have to do. Grapevines can be found in this little green box in WCVF. They're little promotions that the news team writes up about events happening around Fredonia. All you have to do is read it over the air. And then after you read it, you want to initial it and date it so we know that they're being read. If there's a lot of signatures on one in the box and there are other grapevines that look like they haven't been read, try to read the ones that don't have a lot of signatures so that they all get into rotation. In addition, on the grapevines, there's a kill date. If it's past the kill date, leave the grapevine in the box, but don't read it over the air. As I mentioned, during your show on WCVF, there's a few things that you have to do. So the first thing, at the top and bottom of the hour, we'd like you to do a station ID. You can do that by either clicking on any of these pink icons on Instant Player or by just saying into the microphone, you're listening to WCVF 88.9, the voice of Fredonia. The next thing that we'd like you to do is at the 15-minute mark, do a sweeper. You can do that just by clicking on any of these little yellow icons. At the 45-minute mark, do a liner, which are any of these green ones. And at the half-hour mark, do a promo. You can click on any of the purple ones for that. When you're doing any of these clickable instant players, you want to make sure that you have the unattended hotkeys channel up and on, because otherwise you won't be able to hear any of them over the air. If you come into WCVF and you don't see any of the clickables here, all you have to do is go onto the computer and go over from search to instant players and click on instant players. There's a toolbar underneath that says default. Click on that and choose the generic show hotkeys WCVF and all your hotkeys will come back. If you forget any of the times that you're supposed to do the hotkeys or how many of them you're supposed to do, there's a little sheet in WCVF above the computer.
Use that one right there.
The last thing that you have to do during your show on WCVF are booth plays. Booth plays, you can pick from any of the CDs on this top shelf, nothing from down here. You have to play 3 songs from any of these albums per hour, preferably 3 songs from 3 different albums. On your way out, there's 3 pieces of paperwork that you have to do for a show in WCVF. The first is the transmitter log. All you have to do is write your name, the time you came in, the time you left, and signed. If you're doing a show with someone else, you each get your own box. Don't try to shove both of your names into one box. The next is the program log. You'll have your own sheet for your show on each day of the week. So if you have a show on Tuesday, you'll flip to Tuesday. You'll have a sheet there for your show. Every time you come in, you just have to fill out the date, the time that you did your station ID, sweeper, liner, promo, grapevine, all of those. Lastly, we have the playlist sheet, which, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, you have a playlist sheet. Those are up here. You just have to fill out every single song that you played during your show and highlight the 3 of them that were booth plays. The way that your show functions if you have a show in WDVL or WCVF is exactly the same. The only difference is in WDVL you don't have to do any promos, liners, grapevines, anything like that. You don't have to do any booth plays and you don't have any paperwork. There's also no automation for you to stop. The only difference is the way that you normal the board after you're done in WDVL. In DVL, all 3 faders on the right-hand side of the console should be up, with the 2 that I'll show you in a second both on. Hotkeys don't have to be on, however. In both WDVL and WCVF, there are dongles available for you if you need that as an iPhone adapter for the MP3. And if anything breaks during your show, or if you come into something broken, there's a Google Form malfunction report that you can fill out. In both WDVL and WCVF, it's also really important that anything that you guys say or play is FCC clean. That means you can't swear or play anything that swears on your air.
Now that you've learned the basics of your training, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, da 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 da. Ah!
No, wrap it up. We're skipping this.
Okay. Running your own radio show. At the center of every great dynasty is the crown jewel which keeps it alive and thriving. For FRS, this is the radio show. And now you, the humble member of the club, the all-too-necessary human resource that keeps this station afloat, will learn the sacred and dark secrets of how to prepare with your very own hands the entertaining, the lip-biting, spine-tingling, heart-stopping pleasure center that is the Fredonia radio show. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. The secret is... Just kidding. Seriously though, there's no big secret on how to run these shows. You just kind of do it. The advice I'd give to newcomers and veterans alike is to just be yourself, have fun, and don't worry about it. Learn as you go, make mistakes, ask questions along the way. I mean, everyone here is happy to help with anything, anytime. All you gotta do is ask. And with that, your training is complete. Thanks for watching. Break a leg.
One. Right. Scene one, take one.
That was already awkward. Let's do it again.
I wanted to make it. Right. And action.
Yeah, it takes are gonna be fantastic.
What the hell is that shit? Oh no no no! Alright. What rhymes with Jackson and starts with an A? Yeah.
Okay, so first.
Now.
Now. WCDF. And if you forget, oh fuck. There are a few things that you have to do during your show on WCDF. What do I say?
No, don't do that during your show.
So the station IDs that you.
What?
I'm gonna just start over. I forgot what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say? Would you like an actual clap? Jenna wanted a clapper, so we're doing a clapper. Here it comes. What did you think was gonna happen?
I don't know. That was awesome though. Okay.
Now that you've learned the basics of your training, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Ah!
What the hell are you doing?
It was just so funny when you screamed.
I said I was gonna scream.
I know, and I thought I'd be able to keep it together.
Wasted.
Scene 2, take 2, action.
Can I